Let me be the one to break it to you. Not having friends is not the flex you think it is. So usually after people are hurt or when they've trusted someone in the past or given their all to a friendship that ended up in a very messy situation, they kind of come to this conclusion that they don't need friends. And I totally get it. You don't want drama. You just want peace in your life. You just want to focus on yourself and just keep it moving. Even though you think you will have a better quality of life that way, it's actually making you worse. Let me explain. First of all, you're missing out on a lot of perspective. You know how you can grow up with a certain mindset that this is your personality, or that you like something or you hate something, or that you have a special interest in this, but because you grew up in a certain kind of environment, it was probably not considered a big deal. But then when you meet people outside of that environment, they give you a new perspective to life. I've watched a lot of popular guys, say comedians, say that, oh, they were usually the funny one in the family, but nobody took them seriously and nobody even thought they could make a career out of it until they met another person who now told them that, oh, this is what people are doing with this kind of ability. And that was when their career kicked off. And so if you keep getting stuck in your own self, in the things that you know about yourself, you're not opening yourself to new possibilities. And that's a huge disadvantage to your personal development. The point is, you need to allow people to push you out of your comfort zone. Another reason why not having friends is making you worse is that you become more isolated the more you keep to yourself. The longer you stay there, the more selfish you become. You become less tolerant, become less accommodating, and it becomes even more difficult for you to connect with people and make friends, even when those people are genuinely wishing to be your friend. And unfortunately, this spirals into different areas of your life. So you find out that you are also finding it difficult to connect with people at work. You're struggling to work as a team because you're always used to being by yourself, making decisions by yourself, not knowing how to incorporate differences in opinions. You don't know how to do that because you don't have friends. If you're someone who plans to get married at some point, you also realize you're struggling with romantic relationships because you cannot conceptualize the idea of accommodating someone in your space. If someone does something little, even though it's inconsequential, you cut them off. You don't have that patience to actually give people grace enough to allow them to love you, and grace enough to allow yourself time to understand them. The more you continue in that cycle, the more isolated you become. And the more isolated you become, the lonelier you become. At some point, you're going to feel like you need people because that's how we're built. Whether you accept that that is the case or not is a different ballgame altogether. But there will definitely come a point where you feel like you want to have your own community. You want people who will understand you. But at that point, I won't say it's late, but it becomes more difficult. It becomes more challenging for you. It's easier for you to give up on the quest of finding friends. And that is how people become lonely all their lives. A life that you're supposed to live rich in people, rich in love, rich in happiness, and rich in experiences, you're just living it alone, stuck up in your own ways, stuck up in your limited mindset and personality, which is not supposed to be so. The third reason why not having friends is not a flex is that life will get lonely. I know that right now the plan is focus on myself, focus on my career, grind, make my money, live my life. But I'm telling you, it is lonely at the top. The higher you go, you kind of start to realize that work was never supposed to be all I'm supposed to do with my life. And honestly, life is unpredictable. Something can happen to your career, something can happen to your health, and you need people to support you who can be there for you when push comes to shove. And now, I'm not saying you need to force yourself to have friends or you need to force yourself on a group of people. I think the focus of this is for you to be more open-minded to the idea of connecting with people on a much deeper level, like moving past the hurt of experience and friendship to actually believing that there are people who are willing to love you, there are people who are willing to support you, there are people who are willing to be your friend in the most genuine sense. And with that mindset, learning how to identify such people and how to connect with them and how to keep them. And if that's something you struggle with, stick around because that's what we're going to be talking about next week. In the meantime, check out this video where I share some insights about how to actually connect with friends, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.